A few weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg confirmed to Congress what we knew all along, that the federal government had been pressuring these companies, these big tech companies, to censor our speech, censor election information and COVID-19 content during the pandemic. This is wrong, and it's a direct violation of speech, of freedom of speech, and it comes from the most powerful office in the world, the White House, and it's an attack on one of our most sacred rights.
So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
To me, this is just Mark Zuckerberg just pleading not to be jailed once Trump is in office. Well, Mark Zuckerberg is in the news again, making another announcement of something going forward with Metaverse when it comes to free speech. This time he is putting emphasis on free speech. We've heard this announcement many times before. If you remember, he apologized for censoring people during the Wuhan soy sauce bat flu COVID-19 release.
He bowed to pressure from the Biden administration to censor content. The Facebook founder issuing a letter to the House Judiciary Committee that said senior administration officials pushed the social media platform to censor posts about COVID-19 and expressed a lot of frustration when the company resisted. Zuckerberg saying, "I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it." Adding, "I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again." President Biden was asked about misinformation online in the summer of 2021.
On COVID misinformation, what's your message to platforms like Facebook?
They're killing people. I mean, it really, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated, and they're killing people.
Biden later walked back the comment, insisting he wasn't attacking Facebook. Overnight, the White House responded to Zuckerberg's letter. "Our position has been clear and consistent. We believe tech companies and other private actors should take into account the effects their actions have on the American people while making independent choices about the information they present." Zuckerberg going on to express regret for demoting content related to corruption allegations against Hunter Biden ahead of the 2020 election, alleging the FBI warned information circulating online was a Russian disinformation operation. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. Zuckerberg went on to say the company has changed its policies and processes to make sure it doesn't happen again. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan celebrating the letter, calling it a big win for free speech.
So here he is again, shortly after meeting with Trump being certified, now putting Dana White of UFC, the CEO of UFC Ultimate Fighter, a part of his board of directors for Metaverse.
Mark Zuckerberg announcing 3 new appointees to Meta's board of directors. Dana White, president and CEO of UFC. Zuckerberg saying he's admired him as an entrepreneur and brand builder. John Elkann, the CEO of Exor and the chairman of 2 of its portfolio companies, Stellantis and Ferrari, noting that he brings an international perspective to Meta's board. And also Charlie Songhurst, a tech investor who previously led strategy teams at Microsoft and joined the Meta Advisory Group last year to advise on AI and technology roadmaps, now officially joining the board. Zuckerberg saying that 2025 will be a big year for Meta, and he's excited to have these new board.
So what will come out of this? I don't know. We don't know. All I know is what he did was criminal. I think that the man is pleading out and doing everything he can to bend the knee because Trump is now in power, now in office with his administration. Make America Great Again's movement has won. All the buffoonery, all the wrongful things that they did to not only politicians, but people that are like myself, that are free opinionated, that spoke out and called the stuff out for what it was. They shield, they played defense, and they censored, blocked, and banned people off the platform, including Trump. So to me, this is nothing but a plea for forgiveness. Let me do whatever I can to make it right. Because if you remember, they grilled his ass in Congress for censoring people.
I will say there are a great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in a pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship. There have been numerous instances with Facebook. In May of 2016, Gizmodo reported that Facebook had purposely and routinely suppressed conservative stories from trending news, including stories about CPAC, including stories about Mitt Romney, including stories about the Lois Lerner IRS scandal, including stories about Glenn Beck. In addition to that, Facebook has initially shut down the Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day page, has blocked a post of a Fox News reporter, has blocked over 24 Catholic pages, and most recently blocked Trump supporters Diamond and Silk's page with 1.2 million Facebook followers after determining their content and brand were, quote, unsafe to the community. To a great many Americans, that appears to be a pervasive pattern of political bias. Do you agree with that assessment?
Senator, let me say a few things about this. First, I understand where that concern is coming from because Facebook and the tech industry are located in Silicon Valley, which is an extremely left-leaning place. And this is actually a concern that I have and that I try to root out at the company, is making sure that we don't have any bias in the work that we do. And I think it is a fair concern that that people would at least wonder about.
Let me ask this question. Are you aware of any ad or page that has been taken down from Planned Parenthood?
Senator, I'm not, but let me just...
How about MoveOn.org?
Sorry?
How about MoveOn.org?
I'm not specifically aware of those.
How about
cases.
any Democratic candidate for office?
I'm not specifically aware. I mean, I'm not sure.
So I'm somewhat happy of where we are now, but here we go again. Do you believe him? Do you think that he's going to go for free speech? So here he is with an announcement. Play the clip.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far.
Well, there you have it. So what's interesting to me is Mark Zuckerberg is the face of this company that we know is being ran by the government and intelligence agencies. They are doing things behind the scenes, but he has the nerve to come out, put his face out to the public, and openly admit and acknowledge that they had extreme censorship. And what I find funny is that what is really going on behind the scenes with this whole thing? Because obviously something is going on. He just met with Trump. He put Dana White on his board of directors, and now he's shifting not even an hour or so, 10 hours, I don't know, a few hours later of Trump being certified, he's making this announcement that he's putting an emphasis and bringing back free speech on the platform, that he's not going to allow that to happen. He's going to get rid of all these fact checkers and third party this and go back to this and put community notes that, things that we've heard him say before but never really happened. To me, I think it's just a little too late, just a little too late. What he partaked in colluding with the government, stealing for the Democratic Party, censoring one entire group of people in this country who think different politically, ideology, and have different opinions and support different people. They throttled, shadow banned, and banned completely off the platform. I think what he did was commit treason and violated a massive amount of Americans' freedom of speech in this country, and he should and will, I believe, should be and will be in jail for it. But at the route that he's going, I don't think so. But I think that what he did was a huge travesty to the American people, and his apology and now getting in with the cool kids, Dana White, Elon Musk, because if you remember, there was an interview he did where the guy asked him, you know, Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter. And he kind of smirked and laughed like, ha, 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 I don't know. It's too soon. We don't know where this is going to go.
It's like Elon might actually be buying Twitter. After all, any advice? What do you think Twitter's going to be better off? I mean, this has been such a wild saga.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what you make of it.
I don't know. I think it's this is another one of these things that it's really unclear how it'll actually turn out. So it's obviously it's out there, and I think it's interesting as a saga, like you're saying, but I think even at this point, it's not actually clear what's going to happen.
But now we know he's modeling things now of what Twitter has done, what Elon has been able to do with Twitter, and it's come back in full circle. I think the guy should be jailed, tried for treason, man, because he violated so many people's rights. If you remember during COVID, we were getting fact-checked. We still are getting fact-checked. We're still getting throttled. We're getting demonetized. I don't have any sympathy for the guy. I don't trust him. I never will. I think this is a crock of SHI, you know what? And he's just trying to get in with the cool kids. How many of y'all had a Facebook account, been throttled, shadow banned? Comment section, they violated. They give you strikes, community guideline, this. You lost an entire page. You got demonetized. I mean, you name it. I've experienced it personally. I'm experiencing it right now with my Facebook page. I got a Facebook page that never gets any growth, and I post consistently on the platform like I do any of these other platforms, which I continue to grow. My TikTok's at 500,000, almost 600,000 people. My Instagram, they banned me from my first account. Maybe they're going to give that back to me. Should people that had their accounts banned get it back? Obviously, you remember he banned Trump himself. So I don't forgive the guy. I lost my Instagram page of almost 100,000 people, built it back. They're throttling that page now, doesn't get any growth. And I post the same content. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. I grow everywhere else except the metaverse, Facebook and Instagram, and I get demonetized. So do I have sympathy for him? No. Do I think that this might be a good step in the right direction for freedom of speech? Yeah, I can commend him for that. But does that mean it's a wash for what he did to the American people? How he colluded with the government, which is a interference when it comes to you know what? Y'all can fill in the blanks. Starts with an E, which particularly contributed to why Trump didn't get it his second administration the last time in 2020. So does it say it's a wash? Does it say it's a great step in the right direction for freedom of speech in this country? I will say that, but I really, from the bottom of my heart, from my own personal experience and from so many other people that I know that have been shadow banned, throttled, and banned completely, demonetized completely from Facebook and Instagram, I think that what he did was a travesty to the American people, and he should be tried and jailed. But I want to know what your thoughts are. I don't want to beat a dead horse. What do you think? Do you think this is a good direction for him to go? Do you think this washes everything that he's done to the American people? Or is this just another facade to being cool with the cool kids to try to keep himself from going to jail and being tried? I want to know what your thoughts are. If it's your first time on the channel, thank you for dropping in. This was more of a rant today. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I only do mean tweet commentary. And don't forget to hit me up on X. It is Craig Long 45. I'm on Instagram as well, official Craig Long 45. And as always, for everybody that's been supporting me, thank you. I appreciate you guys. And as always, it's your boy, Craig Long 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.